bad news for Dave Marcus fans. Oh, no, and Larry Pearson's going to slam the wall as he turns it around. Oh! And Charlie Glotzbach T-bones him. Red flag is immediately displayed at start-finish. A wicked hit right on the driver's side door. We will wait and hope for the best here, because that is the worst possible spot to get hit in one of these cars.
A wicked crash over here on turn 2, coming on the back.
And they need the ambulance. You can see these guys waving. All right, folks, all the fun is just the balloon has burst a little bit for all of us. Think positive thoughts. Don't want any injuries in this deal.
What was lap 31? We will revert back to the previous lap. That was lap 31. We would have 4 laps to go. So we have a red flag situation right now.
So Larry, the 56-year-old from Spartanburg, South Carolina, will get an update from medical officials as soon as possible. For right now, we'll just step aside and, as I said, think good thoughts. Back here at our Saturday night showdown at Bristol Motor Speedway, and what has been a wonderful evening right now all of a sudden has taken a very serious turn after a turn 2 crash involving Charlie Glotzbach and Larry Pearson. Medical workers are still working on the 21 car that Larry was driving, and we have no word yet from officials as far as his condition, so we will not speculate. What we will do is take one more break and come back here to Bristol. All right, back here at Bristol Motor Speedway at our Saturday night showdown, where with about 4 laps remaining, we are under a red flag condition after a very violent 2-car crash. And there is Charlie Glotzbach as he has climbed out of his car. And Charlie, at the age of 71, from Edwardsville, Indiana, being assisted over to the medical care unit. And it's good to see that he is walking with some assistance, but getting some oxygen there. And there you see in the distance the crews working on the 21 of Larry Pearson. We still do not have any word from medical officials, so unfortunately there's nothing we can tell you right now other than that they are working at extricating Larry Pearson. Stay with us. Back here at Bristol Motor Speedway, we continue under our red flag situation after a very violent 2-car crash involving Charlie Glotzbach and Larry Pearson. We can tell you in our Saturday night showdown that Charlie Glotzbach did walk with some assistance, but he is on his way to the Infield Care Center to be checked out. But to get more on Larry Pearson's situation, let's bring in the man who knows the most of all of us, and that's for sure is Dr. Jerry Punch. Doc?
Well, guys, you hate to have to report when you're a medical doctor or when you're a trauma doc to see these things happen at the racetrack. And as you see what's happening, what they're trying to, the big orange board they're using, that is a backboard. And they've been very, very deliberate and very careful to pull some of these roll bars and pipes away to be able to get the board underneath Larry Pearson and be able to strap him with that board and pull him straight up out of the race car. You don't want to bend him. You don't want to move him. You see them putting him on that backboard. They have an oxygen bag and a mask on him, and so he would put him on the backboard and put him in an ambulance and take him out. His brother Ricky Pearson, his brothers Ricky Pearson and Eddie Pearson are there. They have sent someone over to talk to his dad David and let him know what's going on. But they have been able to get now Larry Pearson out of the car. We'll put him in an ambulance and take him to a nearby medical center, probably in Johnson City. So they are being very deliberate, which is what they should be. And again, the reason it's taking so long is because the car did the roll. In the old days, these roll cages were very, very close to the driver, and you want to make sure you pull the bars away from the driver and free up the legs in the lower part of the roll cage, because it was a very violent impact there in the driver's door.
Doc, has anybody given you any indication of his medical condition at any point here?
They have not so far, and I've seen them come over and talk to Eddie Pearson and Ricky Pearson, the two brothers who are standing there, and they have sent for a car so they can go to the medical center to meet the ambulance when it arrives there as soon as it leaves here in just a few minutes. So,
all right. Thanks for the update, Doc, and I know you'll pass along any further information that you get from down there on the scene. And as we said, folks, just keep thinking positive thoughts. We will pass along anything that we can get before we go off the air and before the end of this event. Back here at Bristol Motor Speedway, our red flag situation continues, and we have just had word from Dr. Jerry Punch. He has an update on the condition of injured driver Larry Pearson. Doc?
And Marty, I just spoke with Ricky Pearson, who is the brother for Larry Pearson. Ricky told me he talked to Larry. He said Larry was knocked unconscious. The accident, the impact rendered him unconscious in the car, which is what took him so long to get him out. They had to cut the bars around him off and load him on a backboard. But Ricky said that Larry did speak with him. He was moving both arms. He was able to communicate with both his brothers and talk to them. And in Ricky's term, he was awake and alert. They're going to take him to the hospital for some x-rays. And so they are all breathing a major sigh of relief over here, at least in the Pearson family.
Well, so are we all, Doc. Thanks for that news. It's probably the best news that we could have gotten, considering the situation, the way that car was hit right on that driver's side door, and you can see how far it caved in. So, wow, just that makes the day a lot better.
That was a very, very hard hit. There's no doubt about that. I mean, that car really caved in good. It was great to see Larry hear from his brother that he's talking, because I got to tell you, if I was in that crowd, I'd for sure been knocked out. No doubt about that one. That was a hardest. I think that's probably the hardest hit I've seen in years.
Yeah, and we talk about these kind of things can happen here, and Ricky and Larry Pearson are two guys that I grew up with around the racetrack as kids. We were playing as our dads were racing, so we just wish all the Pearson family and certainly Larry the best here.
We're going to step aside one more time. They are going to restart the race here at Bristol, so stay with us. We're probably going to go over our allotted time, but we'll get the last 5 in.